Welcome to the MindPrime Podcast, the podcast where we're going to help people change their life using the power of their mind and prime it for success. And today I'm really excited to have on a fantastic guest called Tan. And I'm so excited to have him here because when I met him in London recently, he told me about his company. And with so much going on in technology and AI and ChatGPT, we never realize how much it can actually help you change our minds. So I'm really excited to have him here today. And hello, Tam. Thank you for coming.
Hi, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be on the podcast today.
You're welcome. So I wanted to ask you to explain really to the listeners what it is that you do.
So, formally, I'm a mindset coach, but I dedicate my time to help individuals unlock their full potential. This is done by aligning their purpose, habits, and like the environment for lasting success. I work with clients to discover their core values, break through their mental barriers, and then transform like their adversity, so tough moments in their lives, into more opportunities for growth. I take a holistic approach, but with a twist.
Mm.
So
What's the
I
twist?
don't, yeah, so I don't only just focus on motivation. I create more sustainable habits, self-discipline, mindfulness, and then I tailor it to their unique journey. And everyone has a unique mind. So the technology section that I use is EEG technology. It's electromagnetic waves to the brain
Yeah.
that allows me to map which side of the brain they're on, what side they work with. We do a neurological testing platform. And then I track key attributes because we like to move people in a kind of shift method, I call it. Shifting is when you go from a diffused mindset into a focused
Mhm.
mindset. So imagine a pinball machine and the ball goes bang, 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 bang everywhere and your mind's everywhere.
Yeah.
So there's a series of tests that we do and then we get you like you're on a tee ready to putt that final hole and it's purely focused. And then we build out a really strategic plan around what we call it with our back end. It's a neuro wellness index and we track various attributes. Those various attributes are attention, um, engagement, interest, relaxation, and stress. So
All
then we
important
actually
ones. Yeah.
understand how everything's working. And then the program's then set out to focus on practicing with tools, intentional actions. The program's quite long. It's not like an over the night program where I can say in 30 days you'll be transformed because habits are never embedded that easily. It's a 42-week program that
This is
we
what I
do.
liked about your company and your value as well. Because when I asked you about it and you told me the price, I was very shocked at the price because I've been on courses. I've been a bit of a course junkie, right? So I've been on programs that have been like 2,000, 3,000, and it's like 8 weeks or less. And I've done 10,000 courses, which has been less time than yours. So for the value that you get from your course for 42 weeks, that's a long time.
Hmm.
So if you work with your mind for that long, I'm hoping that the results will be a lot better than shorter period.
Yeah, no, because I think when you're trying to the practical tools and the intentional actions that you build, like purpose is different. So you have to understand your purpose, understand your values, then write a mission statement around what you want to achieve
So
from the
is that what you
program.
do in the program? So you
Yeah,
run
so
them
this is
through.
part of the program. Yeah, so we take you through step by step each week. We visualize it as well. So we help you visualize it
I love
either a
that.
visualization board or a mood board, usually. But
Mm.
then we actually get you to do these activities that embed it and tell
So
you
NLP and things, anything like that, techniques.
moving away from NLP, more around building core habits. So
Mm.
you do this on a daily basis. It becomes like habits.
Yeah.
Because when you can embed a habit over a 21 to 24-day period, it becomes not a habit, but it becomes like a normal aspect
Yes.
within your life.
Hmm.
We do things with our subconscious
Hmm.
without thinking it,
Yeah.
and hence why. I believe when you do something like this, you have your subconscious doing stuff for you. Like we're breathing now, we're
Yeah,
talking, we're looking, we're focused.
exactly.
But we're not telling our brain to do this.
It's just
But
automatic, right?
it's automatic.
Yeah.
It can't, I call it C. Like C is like a significant emotional event. Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
we have that in our lives. When
Have
we
that.
ride our first bike,
Yeah.
that's a significant moment event. And then you can jump on any bike at
Yes.
any age and you know how to ride it.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Or when you burn yourself for the first time, it's like,
Yeah, you
oh,
know
this is
not to do it
fun.
again, right?
And you remember not to do it
Yeah,
again. So this is how the program works. You embed these kind of
I love
habits
that.
and you change. And it's changing for the better.
I think habits are very important. I was actually writing a chapter in my book recently, like this week, about habits and about how habits formed and how they stack onto each other. Because people believe that they can change pretty quickly, but it's when you get your habits stored in your subconscious mind and you have it on automatic, like you said, it brings so much change for you. I've talked about this. I wonder if what your take on this is attaching a habit to a habit you already got. So
I
I
think
recommend to people to do this. I wanted to know if you have that same thing. So like in the
so,
morning, I brush my teeth and then it'll remind me to do something else. Because we all have hundreds of habits, but if you attach the habit to the habit, you get like a secondary habit that
mhm.
reminds you to do the habit that you wanted to do. Say if it's like exercise or what do you
I
think?
actually role reverse that in a little bit. So if you brush your teeth, for instance, so you brought that up, instead of
Mhm.
brushing your teeth with your right hand,
I do
do
it
it with
the
your
other
left
hand,
hand.
actually, because it
Switch it.
opens. Yes, I get people to do that. I love that you said that. That's part
Yeah,
of
so
my
it just
program.
changes your way of
Yeah,
thinking.
I get people
Like,
to walk down the different sides of the road, walk a different way home. It opens your mind and expands your brain, and you get neural pathways, new neural pathways. So I love that you're saying this because this is what my kind of thing.
yeah, no, it's true. So basically, creating new neural pathways, this is what I mean about creating different habits. So we understand we have a routine, and
Mhm.
some people can get stuck in their routine, their daily routine. They wake up, they do the same thing, they'll go to work the same way, they'll walk the same way, they'll take the same
Yes.
train, the same route to the office store, and there's no changes. So to add like little tweaks here and there, just walk a different way,
Yeah.
take a different route, and your brain's actually learning something. And then that's the same thing when you take on gym, for instance. Some people really don't like sitting there lifting weights. You
Uh,
don't have to go there and lift weights. What about taking a dance lesson or a climbing lesson
right.
or even ice skating, for
Love
instance?
ice cream.
Take something different.
Hmm.
You're challenging yourself because that's something that you're learning. You see, that's something that you're learning something
Relearning
different.
almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what the program basically focuses on. It's
Do
like
you focus
using
on like the stories that you tell yourself?
stories. I wouldn't say stories
Kind
we
of like
focus.
habits, but the stories like say how you said for the gym, like you go to the gym and you're telling yourself, oh, you don't like to pull the weights, but really you don't know. Like you could have done a different thing. Like I went to the gym and found something I do like. So it's kind of stories that you tell yourself that kind of becomes your subconscious beliefs almost about the gym.
Yeah, I think sometimes focus is the main key. So you see where I say like
Mhm.
being from a diffuse mindset into a focused mindset, there might be something that disfocuses you from that place. There might be external factors, and this is where I say you control your environment, change your environment
Yeah,
on the program. If that's an environment that doesn't fit you, yeah, don't force yourself within it because you won't grow within that environment.
yeah.
You have to learn from like adverse environments to then make changes.
Mm.
So rather than giving up any fitness journey, change the environment that your
Yeah.
fitness is
Love that.
uh, change something about it. So it might not be weight training. Why not take a Zumba or a cycle class? Something just to change it. Now, if that doesn't fit, then remove yourself from that environment, and from there, you can take on different challenges. So that's why I said
Hmm.
martial arts you might enjoy. You
Yeah.
might enjoy. bouldering or climbing. It just means you're giving yourself the option to do so.
Yeah.
And it's really key that you help that with you, like, or elevate yourself to look at your personal development in that way.
Mhm. I'll question everything, I think. That's what I believe. To
Hmm.
question everything that you believe or that you
Hmm.
previously thought, I think really helps. So if someone like walked in and said, "Hi, Dan, I want to
Hmm.
come work with you,"
Hmm.
what would they do first? Would they do the assessment first, and then what would they find out from that?
So first of all, yeah, we will do a baseline assessment.
Hmm.
And we have two baseline equipments. One is how I explained to you. We
Yeah.
understand which side of the brain someone uses through our neurological.
I know some people won't know what
Uh,
that means, but I do. But do you want to explain what it will tell them?
so yeah, so basically this system, we've got a 3D image of the brain. And as they're taking general activities, so the activity could be solid green circles. And they press a space bar every time they see a solid green circle. It gives us like their reaction speeds, how they're thinking, how quickly focused they can be. Another game we do is around if you see the red, orange, and it might say red as a word,
Oh
but it could
yeah,
be colored in green. And how quickly can you focus on the word connotating the actual color itself? And then we understand whether you're a more of a logical or a creative mindset. And then I can see which side of the brain you are. Because
yeah.
everyone's on a different journey.
Mhm.
Not everyone's going to be the same. Not everyone is going to train the same.
No.
So once we've got that baseline, we'll put that into your neuro index profile. So it's like a neuro wellness profile we build for the individual. And then the client will then take start the 42-week program. And that is where they will place their values. What kind of values do you have?
Yeah.
How do they see themselves? It's like defining their purpose as well,
Yeah.
because a lot of people live
No.
without purpose.
Hmm. I find that a
And
lot as well. Um,
and then it's then trying to do like core values, their
yeah,
goals, personal mission statements. We
that
then
can be
write this down.
powerful.
Yeah.
It sounds like a lot of fun as well doing your program. So you find out a lot about yourself, which is very personal and tailored. Do you get to keep the picture of your brain?
Yes, you'll get to keep pictures of your brain if you want. We can
Yeah,
take images
it
whilst we're
exists.
yeah, like this is what I'm
Yeah, I
doing.
do
Like,
have one.
I had a client the other day and he was like, "Oh, my brain doesn't work." I was like, "Watch, just see here." And I kept I said to him to focus, and he was like, "Oh my God, my brain tweaked there when you said focus."
Oh
And
wow.
then I said, "Focus again." Oh, it did it again, and I could see it like morphing into something. And I was like,
Oh,
"Yeah, that's
that's it.
the electromagnetic waves telling your brain to think, you know?" So the frontal cortex is
Yeah.
thinking about focusing,
Mm.
and you can see it's veering to the left side a bit. So you're left-sided, and you're thinking on the left side as well.
Oh, that sounds like
And
such
then
fun.
it was just really cool to then play a memory game with him and see that it was going to the rear cortex of his brain, and it was covering like those fundamentals. And then when people see this,
Yeah.
and it's not, you don't only just get one assessment.
That's what I
If
was going
it's
to ask. You
one
get
to
another one
one,
later to see how you've
yeah.
changed.
So yeah, we want to track your growth. So on a monthly basis on the one-to-one program, you'll get a assessment done every month. So we track how good your attention's grown, how good your interest has grown, how good your engagement has grown. Have you reduced your stress levels? Have you increased your relaxation? Because I think also what people tend to forget, they go on these programs and they are focused on delivering these programs. But I find sleep is one of the biggest aspects.
Hmm. Yes.
We spend a third of our life
Yep.
doing it, but we don't do it right.
Yes. I love this.
Um,
Sleep is that
and
fundamental human need, and people just forget this. When people come to me to work, I'm like, How do you sleep? How do you eat? Who do you live with?" Like, it's the fundamental. If you can't get your sleep down, you will, your mind won't improve as much as you want it to. So I'm all for that. It's a basic need. Well, we all know how
Yeah.
it feels when you don't sleep, right? You feel so
Hmm.
awful the next day. So I love that. And what kind of success do people have after have you seen?
It varies the success. Sometimes it's a big growth program, especially when you're spending 42 weeks. People change dramatically. Sometimes that they dramatically change so much that they don't have the same friends network that they had, the same
Mm,
environment that they were in. And these are things that um, embed these habits to them. So if these people are not growing around me and I'm not shifting my mindset, maybe I need to leave them behind.
yeah.
And the clients sometimes think like, can I do it? Can I not do it? We've been friends for years,
Yeah.
and they see a drastic change. I've had people that run unhappy at work, just going day by day, just to
Living.
paycheck by paycheck. And my last client, she basically was like a studying diplomacy, international diplomacy, and she hated the office life.
Uh,
Like she didn't know how to get out of it
yeah.
because
It's hard when you don't know
what
your
can I
purpose or
do?
your values to know.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
exactly. So we aligned her purpose and her values, and she wanted to do more stuff that was creative.
Mm,
Um, and she then took on more creative roles. She took on some online courses in the evenings and schooling around product and development of graphic design. She picked up stuff that she loved because she used to write poems when she was younger,
and you.
but she never continued it. It was
Oh,
just seen as a faux pas.
yeah.
So she started her creative writing,
It's amazing.
and most recently, she conquered one of her fears, which
Oh,
was performing on stage.
yeah. Love that.
And she came second place for her first time performing,
Oh,
which is amazing, I think.
incredible. Considering that she was just doing her office job and she's really actually on the other side of her mind. Like she's creative, which I guess is the greatest thing about knowing what your mind is to work alongside it.
Exactly. Don't force your mind down a narrow
Yes.
path,
And
thinking that's what I am, that's what I
mhm.
am.
And I love what you said about the friendships because I think we spoke about this. You might not remember, but when we first met in the event, when we were having a coffee or tea, I think we spoke about friendships and that when I was changing in my personal development journey, I cut off everybody I knew. And I felt really cruel doing it at the time, but it felt like I was growing and that they wasn't. And sometimes it's essential because you're living your life and your environment impacts you so much that you need to know who to keep around you. So it does change. And a lot of times I find people's, when they're growing, that a lot of their life falls apart as well. All the
Hmm.
old has to come apart. So it's incredible that this is 42 weeks because you'll see that falling apart, you'll see it rebuild as well. Because a lot of programs people do, they might have the part where they're about to change, everything falls apart and then they finish. So it's quite
Hmm.
good that they have 42 weeks to improve. And I can imagine that your focus would be really good at the end of this because focus is so hard for many people right now.
I think the other aspect that we look at, to be honest with you, is as human beings, we've got a set of habits. And it's like, I'm going to start my diet on Monday, for
Oh,
instance.
Monday, the greatest day in
Yeah,
the week.
Monday. It's always a
It's
Monday.
always a
End of the
Monday.
week,
Have you ever
I'm
been
going
to
to
the gym
do
on a
it.
Monday? It's the busiest
And
day.
I'm going to start. I'm going to go. I'm starting. I'm going to start this. I'm
Yeah.
going to start this program. And what we don't do is like thinking about stopping. What things do we need to actually stop in our environment? What
Mm,
things do we need to stop doing? Yeah.
yes.
Not that I'm going to start doing something. What do I need to
Just
stop doing
stop.
to have that reversal? So rather than I'm going to start this,
I'm
how
gonna
about
stop
join them
making
two
excuses.
together
Yeah,
and then start getting somewhere basically with it?
I love that. I love that. Thank you. So what there was something else I wanted to ask you about your journey to here and how you came about creating this new company.
So my journey's been around, how can I say? So I've been in the corporate element for many years. I've been an entrepreneur during those periods, owning different businesses.
Yeah,
But the fundamentals, what I really enjoyed whilst being in my corporate life was the mentorship programs that I took part in.
yeah.
So I'd always have mentees. Even from my early days at Barclays, I would go and run upstairs and have 1 hour session breaks with mentees and take them through um, like a program of what do they want to achieve. All of these things, these fundamentals that I'm talking about now, I
Yeah.
was doing it from an earlier age,
Yes.
and
He was always there hiding.
it was always there hiding, like always there behind it. Like
Mm.
my very first client has become very successful. One of my mentees from years ago has become a very successful person. He actually was on The Apprentice last year and came
Oh,
third.
wow.
And he always gives me calls to understand like what should I do? What would you do in this scenario? So we still have that kind of feedback and speaking to each other. And when you come off the program, it's not like we've finished.
I like bye.
No, it goes on. So I have like a motto that I always live by. It's called believe, behave, become.
Believe, behave, become. Okay.
Yeah. So when you start believing, yeah,
You'll behave.
and you set your beliefs, you
Mhm.
then behave in a certain way. So you will
Yeah.
have actions. So your beliefs lead to your actions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your actions lead to what you do.
The
Yeah.
results.
And then your behaviors, as I said, you become that person because your lifestyle changes because your actions have changed within that lifestyle.
Yeah.
So believe, behave, become is always
Hmm.
something I've always followed.
Love that.
Um, you've got massive celebrities that have done it. So, for instance, I always use Muhammad Ali as a starting point. Muhammad Ali or Cassius Clay believed that he'd be a world
Yeah.
champion.
Hmm.
Yeah. So he behaved. So he connotated the actions to become a world champion. He trained harder.
Yeah.
He he acted like a champion. So he spoke in a way to get noticed. He understood the fundamentals of boxing. He learnt those, and as he did that, he became a world champion.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that. It's very like, have you ever listened to the Arnold Schwarzenegger? Like, I think it's on Netflix. Um, that he was very much the same. He was
Hmm.
guaranteed he had to do that. There was no other way that he wasn't going to become that. So sometimes we have the dream and people stop at the dream, but we can still have the same dream. It may have to go around in different ways to get there. You don't change the dream, you just change the way to get there. But I love
Exactly.
that it's like it's kind of like you dream it and you expect it, and then your behaviors change. Even though on the way you may be doing things that you're like, why am I doing this? I'm not there yet. But it will come if you take different actions. And I love that.
I think it's also falls down to 10 toxic habits that have always been part of us. And they thieve, and this is something they thieve our dreams away from us. And
Yes.
I always, when I meet clients, it's either of these 10 that we've all felt it, we've all
Hmm.
had it in our lives. No
Yeah.
one's perfect. But I find procrastination,
Oh, yes.
um, hesitation to do stuff, fear of failure, fear of self-doubt, um, fear of success, being oh, like what happens when I have success,
Yeah. It's
money.
fear of fear itself, even, you know?
Yeah. Self-loathing,
Oh,
imposter syndrome, like
mhm.
high levels of stress, kind of being
Yeah.
overwhelmed, and then a fear of rejection. Like
Yeah.
I think these are toxic habits that come by us,
And they're
but we don't know.
universal, right? They're
Yeah.
universal. It's like I do this sticky note thing where I put sticky notes everywhere in the house. I've got one now. It says, I don't know if you can see it. I think the camera's not. Anyway, it says I am enough.
Hmm.
And I find that when I do this for clients and then they get them to write it all over their houses, and even I write it on my mirrors. And even when I was on holiday recently, I wrote them everywhere. Because sometimes we just need a reminder that we are enough.
Hmm.
Because even when you start sabotage, it's because you believe you're not good enough, or you're scared of the fear. Um, so I like kind of affirmations, but not just saying things for the sake of saying them, or
Hmm.
saying them just to say I'm happy when you're not really.
But
But
the thing is, your affirmations are
they're
lovely,
incredible, but you
but
have
you
to
need behaviors
feel,
behind those.
yeah. because
Affirmations. What do you change to actually
yeah,
become that person?
yeah, this is what I think when you repeat it so many times to yourself, not just I'm enough, but then start to believe it. Like it's how you start sort of to try and change your beliefs. Because like you said, believe you have to believe that to achieve.
Hmm.
So it's incredible. If you had a sticky note right for today and you had to write something on it, what would you write on it to
So I
remind
always have my sign, I've got signs here. So one of them is whatever the mind can conceive,
you? It
and
can
then
achieve. I love that
it can
one.
achieve.
That's my,
So I
yeah,
think that's a great one. And then the other one I have, ability is what you are capable of doing. Motivation determines what you do.
yeah.
Attitude determines how well you do it. So if you believe in yourself, anything is possible.
I love that. I love that. Um, so I just wanted to ask you one more thing before we go.
Hmm.
Um, when you did this journey yourself,
Hmm.
because when I done my therapy and my coaching business, I changed myself
Hmm.
first. So I wonder what kind of change you had internally. Did you have anything that changed for you along the way?
No, massively. So before I started this, I had a really close friend, and we used to have like reverse coaching calls. Like he would tell me something that he was doing, building up, and I'd tell him the same. But he had a neurodivergent background, and it was really good to understand his mind, how he was thinking as a person, because
Mhm.
sometimes they can be really misunderstood.
Yes.
But the biggest tool that we have as a species is our brain, and understanding that is really key. And fundamentally, I lost him in December as a friend to mental
So
health
sorry.
issues. Um, but for me, it then made me start thinking of why the heck am I waiting to do something? When is it going to be my turn?
Yeah.
Why don't I just go ahead and start believing more in the practices, building out this company? And that was a massive mental shift that I took.
Yes. Imagine.
That's like as I was saying to you, that was my significant
That was your
emotional
seed.
event.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mhm.
that was my thing. And
It's,
over time, it basically defines me, like
mhm.
as moving from my toxic habits and then changing my psychological point of view on life. Also the energy that I put onto it.
Mhm.
And then we live on the biggest magnet, which is this planet. So if you have the psychology and you have the correct energy, you'll magnetize towards things,
Towards
or
the right
things will magnetize towards
space.
you because those are the kind of behaviors that you have.
No. Well, thank you for
And
sharing that about your friend. And I find it fascinating that all of us, we tend to wait for like the emotional impact to
mhm,
change. And well, that's normally what everybody does. We always get emotional impact, like, and then we stop smoking or we stop all the habits. How
mhm.
about if we don't wait for the emotional impact? How about we just start it now?
I always say this is one thing that always sticks to my head. Falling down is an accident. Staying
Staying
down is a
down.
choice.
Ah, yeah. I've heard that one before. I love that. It was actually a motivation thing on YouTube. I think it was a motivational short. And I remember listening to that saying stay, but getting back up is a choice. And I remember
Hmm.
feeling that in my heart. It's so amazing that you just said that. See how you attracted it? Um, so I really like this conversation. I really enjoyed finding out all about you. Do you want to tell everybody how they can connect with you?
So via LinkedIn, it's just tan.chrissis. On LinkedIn, you'll find it. You can also go to www.cognitiveverse.io. So that's cognitiveverse.io. And you can actually book in a consultation directly on there. There's a link if you want to get in contact with me. Feel free to DM me on LinkedIn as well, or you can find me at Tan Chrissis on Instagram as well. Those are the two main platforms that I use fundamentally. But yeah, it's something that uh, is always open. Like the course is reopening in January because
Mhm.
all my clients are coming off of it now.
Yeah.
Um, End of November.
Great in time, just after Christmas, after the new year, the new Monday.
Everybody's got New Year's resolutions. Everybody's
Yes.
got new ways of
Let's
thinking,
do
and
one
it's
that
a good.
lasts this year, maybe.
Exactly. No, what we do is I think the next kind of couple of weeks is our vision statements that we wrote to ourselves. And, after the 42 weeks,
Yeah.
we wrote a personal statement to our future selves. And
Uh,
we're opening those up in
oh, it's like a time capsule kind of thing. No.
exactly because you write into yourself. What did you write to yourself? Did you achieve those things?
Do you
Did
know, the
you?
written word is so powerful. I went back to one of mine that I done recently and I read it and I actually achieved what I wrote. And it was so empowering to read. So that's a great. It sounds like lots of fun. Oh, I also wanted to say, because before you go, that a lot of people who on my channel are from America.
Hmm.
And I know you're going to be in America soon.
Yeah.
So they wanted to come see you. You're going to be speaking at an event, aren't you?
Yeah, so I'll be at Mega Success from the 18th to the 28th. I'll be in LA.
Yep.
So Mega
Maybe you can
Success.
share the details maybe when we put underneath.
Go on, yeah.
Yeah.
Mega Success will be over 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, and 24th.
Mhm.
But I'm there earlier and just after. So if anyone wants to um, link up or have a consultation, just reach out to me. For that event, I will be in Anaheim, California,
Nice.
over a 10-day period. So yeah, if anyone's in and around Anaheim, LA,
Contact him
happy to, yeah,
uh,
contact me.
and see your brains.
Yeah, I'll be taking a device over there
Oh,
as well.
really? Can you
Yeah,
imagine
no,
taking that on the
because
airplane? They're like, what is it? What is that?
I use it on myself. At the end of the day, if I'm using it on clients and I don't use it myself to understand how my brain is working,
Then how?
what's the point
Yes.
in you doing it? Do you
Hmm.
understand?
Yeah.
Fundamentally, you should understand your brain health. We all go to the gym. This is another thing around what I find with society. We'll focus on the exteriors
Yeah.
rather than what is in the interior
Hmm.
aspect, which is mindset.
Yeah.
And if we don't narrow down to specific goals and outcomes, we don't then take action against those specific goals or outcomes.
Hmm.
And then if we don't do that, we then don't have that strong mindset. But when we switch to mindset to have specific outcomes that we want to achieve and we take action, our lifestyle changes, our way of thinking changes, and things are generally magnetized to us and change for us.
Hmm.
And I think this is right, really, really key to when someone says, "Oh, I'm manifesting," I write this down. No, what actions?
Are you taking
Take
it
a
towards
step
it?
back
Yeah.
internally to take you to that person.
Yeah. I do manifestation in reverse. Actually, it's
Hmm.
funny because you talk a lot about reverse. So I do. So I start with the what I want. I work it backwards.
Hmm.
How I would feel if I had that, obviously the visual, what would happen. Then I think of what actions I would have had to take. You can't just imagine something and it's going to come. You still need to take inspired action. Like, so I love that. Before I go, I wanted to ask you one more thing. What would you like to leave us with today? Any words of wisdom?
So, like, as you know, it's all around mindset.
Yeah,
But one of my favorite books is by Seven Pillars.
7 pillars.
The Seven Pillars of Wisdom, and it's by T.E. Lawrence.
T.E.
And
Lawrence.
yeah, T.E. Lawrence, Seven
Yeah,
Pillars of Wisdom. It's an old school book. Don't
yeah.
get me wrong, it's a
Is it
very old
hard to
school
read?
book. Leatherback, very massive. This was written and published in 1935.
I
So
love them old books though. I'm
good
very
luck. It's like a
person.
leatherback. But it has one of my favorite quotes in it.
Yeah.
And it says that all men dream, but not equally.
Hmm.
Those who dream by night in the dusty recesses of their minds
Hmm.
wake up in the day to find it was all in vanity. Yeah. But the dreamers of the day are the dangerous ones. They
Ooh.
may act their dreams with open eyes to make it possible.
That is incredible. Can you share that with me after?
Yeah,
I want
I'll
to
share it
read
with
that.
you.
I'm gonna read in that whole book now. That that is so profound. It's like people have dreams, they close their eyes for the dreams, but people who actually take the action are the ones that are gonna make it in the life. So,
I'll leave you with this as well. We
okay.
only live once,
Yes,
yeah? But if we do it right, once is enough.
I love that. Once is enough. Thank you so much for coming and sharing your words of wisdom. And I'll share the comments as well
Thank
about
you.
that book, and I'm gonna go and get that book.
Thank
So
you.
everyone
Thank you
connect
for
with
having me.
Dan. You see how great he is. You can see why I put him on today. It's been incredible having you here. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. Take
Thank
care.
you. Bye.
Bye.